This episode of the Old Dogs REI Network is brought to you by Mino Studio.
In a world where jobs are how most people make money, one man, one desire, one challenge dares to break the mold. Welcome to the Old Dogs REI Network, where we don't work for money. Money works for us. Coming soon. Viewer discretion advised.
Welcome to the Old Dogs REI Network, where cash flow is king. Real estate investing, the means, so you can enjoy your retirement dreams. This is the show where we cut right to the chase. No sales pitch, no long monologues, just simple how-to real estate investing advice, so you can earn the passive income you need to enjoy your retirement today. And now, your host and chief old dog, Bill Manacero.
Welcome to the Old Dogs REI Network. I'm your host, Bill Manacero, and this is the show where 50-plussers and anybody else who wants to join us get solid, no sales pitch real estate investing advice to help generate real cash flow. This podcast airs twice weekly on Mondays and Fridays, and if you aren't already a subscriber, go to iTunes or Apple Podcast, type in Old Dogs, spelled D-A-W-G-S, find our podcast, and subscribe. Well, we got a great show for you today. I'm pretty stoked about. This is a fellow Southern Californian that we're going to be interviewing today, and I'm talking about Joe Arias. And Joe and his partners have flipped hundreds of properties in the Southern California region. So this is something of interest to me because it looks like it's impossible. But anyway, we're going to keep going here. He has developed cutting-edge systems to simplify and scale the entire remodel process that can easily be applied to flipping, rentals, wholesaling, and other passive income strategies. More recently, Joe founded a real estate investing education company called Real Success. Real Success is an educational platform focused on teaching people flipping, rentals, passive income, and wholesaling. He's also an author who has written 4 books, Finding Your Real Success, Flipping with Real Estate, Rentals with Real Success, and Success Plan, and is currently writing another book, it sounds like, on wholesaling. Now, from a young immigrant from Argentina with no financial literacy to a celebrated real estate investor, Joe is a true testament to hard work and discipline and the power of real estate investing here. As an investor, he has made it his mission to help others achieve financial freedom while enjoying living a life of passion, fulfillment, and empowerment. Well, Joe, welcome to the Old Dogs REI Network.
I love it. I gotta get those lines for an intro. Thank you for that intro. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Well, you're not anywhere near it sounds like an old dog here, but we like to have young pups on that can share their knowledge and their abilities too. So we're real glad to have you on.
Thank you, Bill. I got a question for you before we start.
Sure. Hey, I'm supposed to be the guy asking questions.
I know, but I got a question. Why the name, the Old Dogs? And then, do you think you can teach new tricks to old dogs?
Of course you can, or I wouldn't be here, man. This is the place where you can teach old dogs new tricks. And we got a lot of old dogs here that have learned new tricks and are doing great in real estate investing. So to answer your question, yes, you certainly can. And I'm hoping you're going to be able to teach us old dogs some new tricks too.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Well, give us a little bit of your background here. It's very interesting. You came over here as an immigrant from Argentina, and now you're just this big real estate rock star here. What happened? Can you give us a little bit of the story?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I came here. I'm 39. I came to the U.S. when I was 19. I was an immigrant. I'm an immigrant from Argentina. just like you said. All my life follow the traditional mindset, which is, to go to school and, buy a house and pay the taxes the way everyone gets them, pays them, and work very hard for many years, and hopefully at some point I can, retire. And I did that for 10, 15 years. I got a job and I was making money, but I was also spending money. And I felt like at the end of the year, it was never good enough. I didn't have any money left. And 10 years ago, I did a real estate seminar. It was a 2-day seminar that changed my life. And after that, I really got involved with flipping. And, I flipped 2 houses on my first year, made $164,000. And after that, I was just really hooked.
And you did this all in California, right?
Well, flipping, California is a great market for flips. Might not be the best market for rentals, but when you can flip houses and leveraging OPM, which is other people's money, you're not using your money. I'll flip all day long here in Los Angeles. It's an emerging market. Prices are going up. The risk when you flip, it's all in the buy. So if you're buying at a lower cost and off market, definitely, remodel it, stay within 3 months, put it in the market, cash out $50,000, $70,000 and move on to the next one.
Well, that you've definitely got to know the market. I guess that's the huge part about it, right? Is that ARV that in order to get a house here and project what you have to do to get to be able to get that kind of a return, you definitely need to know what you're doing. Yeah,
but it's no different than anything else. If you want to be good at it, you just got to know what you're doing.
Right, and I understand that that's what you specialize in, is showing people how to do that, right?
Yeah, and also there's something also about. Let me ask you this: what is your thoughts about flipping? You're in Cali. You live in you're close to Los Angeles, right?
Yes.
What is your experience? Not experience yourself with flipping, but what is your because if you ask me about rentals, I'll tell you just go and buy rentals outside of California. But do you have a positive reaction on flipping houses in Los Angeles, or you think it's it's a very expensive market to flip?
Well, it's definitely an expensive market. I know at Home Sell for here, and that was one of the things that discouraged me when I first started. I said, I'm not going to be buying properties in California. But I ran into, a gentleman who has been flipping here for 40 years. And does quite well doing it. And I knew there was something missing, and what was missing is the cash in my pocket when I started, because, he talked about going to the, courthouse steps, and, he's got cashier's checks in his pocket, for $600,000, $700,000. And so you've got to have that cash to get started. I know it's got to be a prerequisite to flipping in California.
Yeah, but it can be. It doesn't have to be, Bill. You can leverage OPM, other people's money. You could do hard money. You could do private money. Just think about this. You buy a house in Inglewood. Inglewood is an emerging market right now. Is it fancy? No, but who cares if it's fancy or not? If it's going to put $50,000, $80,000 in 5-6 months, I'll do it all day long. So if you can buy a house for the medium price home in Inglewood, it's between $400,000 and $500,000, right? So let's say that you buy a house for $500,000. Let's say you buy it for $450,000 and you put $50,000 for the remodel. You need $500,000. You get a hard money that pays, up to 90% on the purchase price, and they pay 100% on the construction. So that just say, just for the sake of the conversation, you're getting 95% of all the money that you need. So 95% of $500,000, I can do the math. It's 500 times 95%. That's $475,000 that technically, if the deal is good, a hard money lender is going to give you.
Gotcha. But don't you have to have the money first to buy the house before the hard money lender is going to give that to you?
No. What money are you assessed? Are you referring to the private money?
Yeah. In other words, you got a house you're gonna work on. Okay, that you've targeted here. This is the house I want to acquire. Doesn't the hard money lender have to have the guarantee for them is the ability to be able to sell that house if you default, right?
Do you need to have which money? Do you need to have the 5% or the 10% that you need to buy the property?
Well, so you're saying you would only come in with 5 or 10%?
Yeah, I was saying hard money lender will give you up to 90% of the money, right? Sometimes they'll do 80%, 85. I got all the way to 95% of the purchase price.
Okay, so you just have to. You're saying you just have to have that down payment initially.
You need to have a $25,000-$50,000 private money loan.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, if you like $50,000, I always tell our investors, don't put the money yourself. Leverage other people's money. Give someone a 10% annual. Just think about it. You get to a hard money lender. Let's say that they give you $450,000. You need $50,000 in cash to flip a house in Inglewood, right? You get $50,000, you pay someone 10% of that. 10% of $50,000 is how much?
It's like $5,000.
$5K, but we're only flipping. We're not going to do any additions. We're not going to add another story. We're not going to turn the garage into an ADU. We're going to do a very quick flip. We're gonna do an over-the-counter permit. That means it's going to be like, we're going to get the permits right away. It's going to be something simple, and we'll be able to upgrade the quality of that house. And we're going to do that within 6 months. So if it's 10% of 50,000 is 5,000, but you're going to use it only for 6 months. So you're literally paying someone $2,500 to leverage their money.
For the most part, yeah. When you're doing this, let's say you've got to find this property first, right? And when you say a kind of a light flip or a light rehab, can you tell me, kind of get a little more specific there? What you're actually doing to the property?
Yeah, well, there's two parts that are the two most important parts of a house where people have to put their money. Is what? The kitchen and the master bathroom. So, everything else is maybe a little bit of rough electrical, rough plumbing on the other bathroom, right? But for the most part, you're going to spend most of your money in the kitchen and the master bathroom. So, you just rough plumbing, rough electrical is there, just, drywall. Then you have to mud it, and then you just put the finishes. So you just change the flooring, maybe open a wall. There's a Chinese term called feng shui. When you open things, energy flows. So you probably want to, as long as it's not a low-bearing wall, you want to open a few walls and just uplift the quality of the property.
Are you doing much on the exterior?
Yeah, you do curb appeal, right? Curb appeal is very important. So you just if it needs a new roofing, you just change the roofing. Then you can put some stucco outside or any kind of finish that you might want, and you give it a nice curb appeal, and then you're in and you're out. Yeah,
it seems like 50,000 wouldn't go real far. I mean, in that kind of scenario, are you finding good prices for the things that you're utilizing?
It's an example of $50,000. I think that you might maybe need 70,000 to remodel a house, but we're just looking at flooring, paint, finishes in the kitchen, new windows, maybe $70,000, $80,000. I mean, the 50 was just to keeps numbers simple, right?
Right.
But we want to get in and out. And a lot of the newbie investors will let the contractor buy the materials and the labor and install it. I don't do any of that. I buy all the materials. I have a software where I can. We have a partnership with Home Depot, where we actually get a discount with Home Depot. We get between 2 and 10% discount. And you just buy the materials. You have all the materials delivered on site, or have your GC pick them up. and then the GC will like bid on labor. That's the wholesale way to do it. That's how you pay low prices.
That's great. That's great. Are you partnering with your students or the people that that you teach how to do this, or do they have access to these discounts and the other things you're talking about?
They do. We don't partner with our students if we build the relationship and they become friends, because everyone is a family. Every single investor that we work with, they become family. I run masterminds. I run different groups to bring people together. It's all about bringing people together, especially for me. It's one of my missions. Getting off subject here, but when I was a kid, I used to get bullied a lot. And I felt like I never had a group. I never belonged to, this is in elementary school. So I always felt like I was an outcast. And then I came to America, to the US, and that showed up even more, right? The idea of like not belonging. But then in real estate, I was able to find a community of people, like-minded individuals with a goal. I started with the goal of making money. And in the last few years, it has changed into making money and also making a difference. And that's what I love about real estate, because you can actually make money and you can also create massive value for people and families.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, how are you finding your houses? Do you teach that as well?
There's different strategies that we use, right? I mean, these days, now with the MLS is saturated, prices are going up. There's a strategy we don't use the MLS, but in the MLS, there's a strategy called, the first look in, which is like as soon as a property comes into the market. Right now, the prices are super high. If you do in the MLS, you could do like the last look. Properties have been in the market like for over a year or two, but everything is off market. You want to deploy mailing campaigns, foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, divorcees, fire burns, fire damaged properties, probates, the properties owners living out of state that are having issues, liens. There's definitely different strategies that you can deploy. Social media, mailers, Craigslist, bandit signs, text messaging. At the end of the day, all these strategies will get you to the same location, which is you want to find someone with a problem, right? Someone that they can go into the market, get an agent, stage it, take photos, get an offer, open escrow, wait in a month or two to close escrow. Is people that have a problem that we can have a solution for them. So that's the key. But that's the key in life with any business, right? Find people's problems and bring a solution.
Well, it sounds like you've been working this for a while and refining as you go along. What would you say, some of the early mistakes were that you overcame to, increase your return and your productivity there?
Yeah, I think I have a traditional mindset. Also, I have a cheap mindset when I started, which was I was focusing on how can I save money instead of making money. It takes the same amount of energy or even more to try to save money than to actually make it. But saving money is limited, where making money is unlimited. So one of the biggest mistakes, was just trying to save money, trying to get a little discount here and there. At the end of the day, your team is your rock. Your team is as strong as as your business. So I hired contractors that were not licensed to try to save a few $1,000s, and then that backfires on you because if they don't have a license, there's an issue. Or I overlook some certain inspections that I could have done just to save money, and then I have to pay for a sewer because the person that bought the house from me did a sewer inspection, and I didn't even know that the sewer was messed up. Also trying to change the systems. If you have created a system that works, don't change it. Don't tweak it. If it works, just keep it. That's another error that I was always trying to like make more money and grow faster. And sometimes you just have to like come to your zen and do less. Keep the system that works and just repeat it.
That sounds like definitely something you've done on the successful side too. I mean, that's it. You were showing me earlier before the podcast, some of the great resources you have online, and those are systems that you set up to save people time and money, which definitely are invaluable. And it seems like things that you've worked out over time as you've tested it out as well, and things that are working for you as well. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, real estate is a big market. I mean, I always say that the more people that flip, the more money, as long as there's like a need. And definitely right now it's seller's market, so everyone is buying. So there's definitely a need. I wouldn't tell, everyone to like jump into flipping if, we're having a down market, right? Because that's the time to hold, to buy and hold. But right now is the time to buy and sell because the economy is going up. So, when you have a seller's market where, everyone is buying, that's what you want to do. You want to buy and sell. And my mission is to help people do that. As long as people can make money out of it and make a difference, I'm all about it.
Did you see any kind of a decline in the market when COVID hit and sort of the aftermath of COVID?
Well, yeah, I don't know. We still don't know what's going to be the aftermath of COVID. I think it's a new reality that we're adapting to it. We don't know what's going to happen. A new variant might come in. I think that, real estate has been growing and growing. Maybe that it goes down a few points, but people are still buying.
Right. Well, it's definitely, I've seen it. I see it here firsthand. It's crazy. People keep saying this is the top of the bubble and it just keeps going. It just keeps going. And it can't keep doing that forever, but.
It's going to deflate. I don't think it's going to crush. I think it's going to deflate. I think in the next 2-3 years, we'll start seeing it in the next few months. But I think that what's going to keep the lights on, and the economy might go down, but real estate is going to, in my opinion, is going to keep on steady. It's not going to keep on going up. It might deflate a little bit, but who's paying for the bills, keeping the lights on are the millennials. Millennials being non-committal in a good way, right? They've been membership based. They've been traveling. They've been working from home or just being mobile. And now they're hitting 30, 35, and maybe they met the love of their lives. And what do you do when you meet someone and you want to settle? You buy a what?
Buy a home.
Buy a house.
Yep.
So my sister did that, and other people. A lot of millennials are buying houses right now. So I think that millennials will keep the lights on for the next few years. Yeah,
and that's what I agree with you there. You see it they for a long time. Everybody's saying these are not buyers, these are renters. But that has been shifting pretty dramatically. So it's very interesting. And a lot of it is working remotely contributed quite a bit to that. Our audience are folks, though, that are not millennials. We have a lot of millennials that listen and younger even. But our target audience are those folks that are 50 years of age and older that are looking for ways to generate cash flow in their retirement or to maybe grow their nest eggs. How would you say, flipping or the stuff that you're teaching would help with those folks?
Yeah, well, everyone has to assess. I'm 39. Like a few memories ago, I was 20. And I can't believe 20 years went by. And I feel like the next time I'm going to blink my eyes, I'm going to be 60. So these are all intelligent conversations we have to start having now. Either you're 40 or you're 60, right? Retirement goes from 60 to 80 or 65 to 85. Some people have created retirement. Some people have 401ks. Some people not. And there's strategies where you can leverage 401ks into rentals, right? You can deploy passive income. 401ks are getting what, between 5 and 8%, 9%, and you can buy out of state and make over 20%, right? So there's a lot of opportunities for people. There's people with equity in their home. There's people with, it's a bunch of SBA loans right now. There's ways that people can flip houses without using their money. There's credit card stacking as well. I've used that when I started. I got like 5 different credit cards at 0%, and I flipped 4 houses on credit cards at 0%. So that was free money for me.
That's great.
But it's if you're getting closer to retirement, you got to think about what's going to be your strategy. Are you going to be flipping houses, right? Because if you don't have any money, might be a good idea to start, educating yourself and wholesaling and flipping. But at the end of the day, the best strategy is the rentals. Rentals, you want to beat retirement, you buy rentals. But the whole idea with rentals, it's a slow game, right? It's like you got to start buying rentals now, and then in 5-10 years, you got a bunch of rentals giving you passive income.
Right. Well, I would imagine too that some of the folks out there that maybe they do have that nest egg, they've got the funds to maybe become private lenders and maybe fill the gap there for those flippers that need to get their first properties and so forth. Do you ever work with those folks?
Yeah, you can get private money. I mean, private money you get between 8 and 12%. And there's usually a fee sometimes that brokers charge. I think that the best one is just get a turnkey rental outside of California, right? Get a property that is giving you 10 or 15% cash in cash every year. In rentals, you have 4 profit centers, right? You have cash flow, you have appreciation, you have the renters paying the mortgage down, and then you have tax strategy. So, you can lend if you want. I just think the best is just to find a market that you like, that is in expansion, that is appreciating, between 8 and 12, 13% every year. And then just buy single family homes, or you can buy duplex, triplex, fourplex. You can do commercial, 20, 30, 40% down, not 20, but 30, 40% down. But, you get over 20% return. So I think it's a better strategy to do that.
Are you buying rental properties yourself?
Yeah, we have one of our partners. We buy outside of California turnkey rentals.
And what markets would you say are good right now?
There's a bunch of markets like Florida, Texas, St. Louis, Alabama. The thing is that you got to find the pockets, because everyone, like Las Vegas, everyone is investing in some of these markets. People are digging gold, looking for gold, but after like 6 months to 12 months, maybe those little pockets get deployed. So you have to go and find other pockets where you're getting, you're buying an $80,000 house, putting 20% down, and then you have the renter paying the mortgage down, and you're pocketing $400 or $500 a month.
And how are you finding those pockets yourself?
Well, how do you find properties, right? You can like find the same way that people find them, right? You can do mailers, you can do agents, right? It's a lot of agents in the neighborhoods that they have access to off-market properties. It's all about developing your team, building your team. That takes time and also the good practice, right? I like tennis, right? So I play tennis in my free time. Mm-hmm. And I have a coach now, but for many years I never had a coach. And I learned how to play tennis the wrong way. So it's not just about taking action, but it's about taking the right action.
That's great. Great point. Well, your business, you built up this great business, and it seems like, you're off to quite a start. Well, what excites you about the future of your business, and where do you see it going?
I don't know. I'm really excited about the possibilities. As I said, every time I encounter an investor, sometimes we work with newbie investors, and sometimes the mindset We have to, we have to work on changing people's mindsets, right? So that excites me, right? Like one of my investors, one of my students, she just like, she just flipped her first house. It took her like 9 months to like, we helped her, right? But it came with the small little things like making her bed in the morning, right? Or organizing her house, or just keeping integrity or being on time for her meetings. Those things are really excite me. Like obviously as investors, it's okay to make money, right? That's another mindset change that we do. Some people have it like I had it 10 years ago. I was not good enough, right? So sometimes these little change mindsets, little taps in the trajectory of the boat heading in a direction, in the big scheme of things, create an entire different direction that help people. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about making money and making a difference and helping people and have them make money and help people as well.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, it sounds like you've got a really nice system there, and the fact that you share it with your students too, or those that you're coaching and training, that's a real advantage to be able to tap into the things that took you years to develop, and to be able to benefit from those. That's awesome.
Yeah, like if you can, it took me 5 years just to get in real estate, and then the last 10 years I've been like perfecting training and perfecting my own education, and I think that the only access to success is through failure. You can't be successful without failure. You have to go through the door to walk it, and if I can help our other people to not go through the failures that I went through, and because real estate is like, I'm going to keep on the example of the tennis ball, but it's like if you play tennis, every time you hit the ball in the net, it's going to cost you $1,000, right? Like real estate, flipping houses is a little bit like that. Like every little mistake you do, $300 here. Oh, I forgot to order those damn windows. Oh man, I'm going to have to pay for 5 more days for this loan. Oh, $2,000 there. Like little mistakes, right? But that's how you learn. So if I can help people avoid those mistakes, why not?
Right. That's great. Well, I would think one of the biggest challenges, it always seems to be on sort of the contractor side of things, getting good people that you can trust and count on to be, that's the team that's making, doing all the stuff, right? What kind of advice would you have there in terms of how you learn that process so that you've got a good core of people that you can trust and deal with on a regular basis?
Yeah, I mean, the contractor is one part, right? There's 4 areas when you flip a house. You got finding, you got buying, you got remodel, you got selling. Finding is finding. When you buy it, you got full control in the buying. If you don't want it, you don't buy it. Simple as that. You pay $400 or $500 for the inspector. You're an escrow. You have a clause. You have a loan clause, or you have any clause. You just back out. You're out of the deal. So you have full control in the buying. You have certain control in the selling in regards to comps. We're not like holding, so we got a good idea, more or less 5-10% how much money we're going to be making in the next 3-4 months if we do a nice remodel. So the biggest thing is obviously finding the property at a right price. But once you get that one dialed in, the next thing is the construction. If you don't have a contractor, maybe you're in a new market, maybe your contractor is busy, you definitely want to find a licensed contractor. That's an error I made. Don't hire someone that is not licensed. That'll be one thing. And then the other one is I like to buy my materials. I buy my materials. So when I get contractors coming to give me a bid, they just bid me on the labor. When I run my if I'm in a new market, I like to interview like 4 or 5 contractors at the same time. So I have everyone come at the same time. I got the scopes of work in the table, and everyone picks up and then I have kind of like if someone runs late, that's out, right? First meeting, contractor, if you're running late, you're probably going to run late on your meeting, on your flip. So that's like a red flag for me. And then I just like say, guys, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to give you guys a tour. I give them a tour of the project. Someone gives me an attitude because there's other contractors there. That person gets like disqualified right on the spot. So, because what happens is you get a few contractors and all their egos, we all have egos, their egos come out right there, right?
Right.
You got the confident contractor that is like, sure, I'm game for this. Then you have the guy that has an attitude that is going to be like, how do you dare, like, calling me with other contractors? Well, that's the guy you don't want to hire, because when that guy did not meet his deadline or his benchmark, and you tell the guy, hey, I'm not going to pay you until you finish this because that's what's in the agreement, guess what? Do you think he's going to have a good attitude, or he's going to have the same attitude?
Good point. Well, man, our time is zipping by here. We have a segment right now we call Wrap It Up, where I ask you a series of quick questions, kind of like a lightning round, and you share resources that have been of value to you. If you are ready, we can go ahead and do our Wrap It Up.
Yep, I'm ready, Bill.
All right. Favorite real estate book?
Oh, man. I do a lot of audiobooks. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the one that came to mind.
Yeah, that's
it's more about mindset. It's not about real estate, but
exactly.
But that's the one, that's the one that came to mind.
That was the one that changed my trajectory there, I'll tell you, without a doubt.
Mindset is so important, right? It's so, I think about Think and Grow Rich, there's the Who Moved My Cheese, like all those books about how to win friends and influence people. There's a book by Robert Greene called Mastery. Grant Cardone has another one, Sell or Be Sold, I think it's called. These are all like mindset books that I think that they're really powerful.
Yeah, that was my next question. Favorite sort of general business book. I would say that they are mindset book, but a lot of people, say that their favorite business book because that helped them to change their business.
Yeah. I like the book I wrote about, I don't want to sound like, I would say that my favorite book is the one I wrote, and I'll tell you why. It's my favorite because I share like real failures in that book. And I like that because people learn through stories. People learn through, what I'm saying? Like that book I share about like where I made mistakes. And I think there's a lot of value on learning through that, so people don't do that.
Yeah, I think that's invaluable. I have a good friend, Paul Moore, who has a podcast, or had a podcast, that was all just on mistakes that you've made, your biggest business mistakes. And that was great stuff that people shared in there. I think you learn a lot from other people's mistakes. Saves you a lot of heartache. How about a valuable website that you use on a regular basis that, for your business?
Website. I would say, well, I've created the website that I give to all my investors, and where they can access all the legal documents and all the kitchen template downloads and all that. That's the website I use every day. Third-party websites. I don't know. I have probably 30 different subscriptions. Just I love subscriptions, and I love anything that will help me scale my business. Sure. So I don't know, maybe Gmail. That's the website.
Okay.
Google is where I am all the time. If I have a question, I I researched that, and again, you have to discriminate and see what's good information, what's not.
Sure. How about a favorite app, something on your phone?
Favorite app? I love WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I build teams on WhatsApp.
Oh, that's great.
The project that I have is a new team, and yeah, that would be my favorite.
Yeah, it's good internationally too, which is really neat.
Enough.
How about a favorite quote?
Favorite quote? I don't have a favorite quote, but I will tell you a quote that I was thinking about yesterday, which is a quote by a Persian poet, by the name of Rumi.
Mm-hmm.
That says whatever you seek is seeking you.
Oh, interesting.
And that's kind of like the power of association. The power of, there's the crab in the bucket syndrome as well. There's different, what you seek is seeking you, means that whatever you put your mind into it, that's what you're going to attract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. Well, the final question is, if you lost absolutely everything, all your assets, and you had to start all over, knowing what you already know, and all you have is $1,000 in cash, what would you do with that $1,000 to relaunch your real estate investing business?
I don't know. What I would do with, the beauty about real estate is that, you're always standing on the giant's shoulders, right? I would say that I would put that money on my health, because money comes and goes, but health, number one, happiness, number two, number three is money. Because if you're not healthy, I don't care how much money you have. If you're not happy, who cares how much money you have? But I would just put it probably $1,000 on health and happiness.
Interesting. Wow. Well, we're getting close to wrapping up here. Before we do, you had mentioned that you've got an event coming up in SoCal, and do you want to let us know a little bit about that?
Yeah, I would love this interview to be listened as an evergreen podcast. I don't want to age this in maybe 5-6 months, but I would say that we offer. We're doing a 2-day seminar. By the time you listen to this podcast, I don't know where we're going to be, but we're doing different events. We're investors. We flip houses, we own rentals, we do syndication. But sometimes we get a lot of phone calls from people that are like, hey guys, can you guys put an event? Can you guys do, and, every other month, every few times in a year, we put a few events, just so we can put a bunch of people in a room, teach them what they need to be taught, and then send them to life, send them to the world to apply what they learn. So I would say just go to ourrealsuccess.com. That's our, O-U-R, and then the word real, and then success.com, and check whatever events we have at that time. We're doing one in February. But that's just coming up right now because we're in February now. We're doing another one in April. The idea is just to pass the message to people so they can, it's very good time right now to be flipping. So, and doing wholesale.
Awesome. Regarding, all the other services and things that you do, it would be at that same web address?
Yeah, they can look us up there. Some people need hand holding. I'm the kind of guy that I need hand holding. When I started, I was just jumping from place to place. I didn't know what to do. It took me 5 years to finally find, the company that I wanted to work with, the investors, real success. Some of those partners were people that I got coached. I would say that that's the place to go. If you need hand holding, we can definitely help people doing that by sharing our strategies and our experience.
Excellent. And if people want to connect with you, or is that also the website's the best place to do that?
Yeah, they can go to Joe Arias Investor in Instagram. And maybe you can, I don't know if you can have the ability to put the link or not.
Yeah, we'll have that in our show notes. Yeah.
Joe Arias Investor. You can Instagram, and my company is there. The company that I work with is there, which is Real Success. Yeah. And I always say carpe diem, you know.
All right.
Today's the day. You got to seize the day.
Seize the day. You got it. Awesome. Well, we have a tradition on this show too that you may or may not be familiar with, but we're called the Old Dogs, and so we have each of our guests close us out with their best old hound dog howl. Are you ready for that?
So I have to literally like do a howl?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me think. Yeah. I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
That's great.
That's the wolf. That's
it. That's great. I love it.
I do the wolf because in life you can choose between being a lonely wolf or working in a pack.
Yeah.
Community.
Good point. Good way to tie it all together there. I like that.
There you go.
Well, Joe, thank you so much for being on. It's been some good information. Good information for our folks.
Yeah. Hopefully the last thought I want to say is information is good and you can find information anywhere. But when information gets applied with experience, that's where like knowledge gets created. So I really hope that with the information we're putting here, people can take action and they can turn information into knowledge. Because you can find information anywhere, but knowledge is different.
Yeah, I like that. Really good stuff. All right. Well, thank you. And I want to thank all our Old Dog listeners out there, too, for joining us. I know there's a lot of other things you could be doing right now, but the fact that you've taken the time to join us means a lot, and we really appreciate it. Please note everything that Joe talked about today will be outlined in detail. Arias howling away there. Can be accessed in our detailed show notes, and there'll be links in there as well to him and his company and the things that he does, and just look for the episode with Joe Arias. Well, that's the show for today. Remember, cash flow is king and real estate investing the means. Until next time, keep moving forward and may God bless.
Thank you very much for visiting the Old Dogs REI Network. We would greatly appreciate if you would stop by iTunes and let us know what you think of the show. We would love if you could subscribe to the podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and write a review. The more ratings and reviews we receive, the more visible the podcast will be to others. Thank you.